assigned to work an investigation in this pharmacy regarding fraudulent prescriptions that this pharmacist has wrote for herself and for her spouse and for her sister, where she's documented on our forms that a doctor called in prescriptions. I spoke to the doctor, 2 of them specifically, that stated, I've not called in these scripts, these are fraudulent. She also billed them to a third-party insurance company, which is insurance fraud. We attempted to have a conversation with her, and it was futile. It went nowhere. So at this point, Board of Pharmacy requires that we notify the local law enforcement and file a police report regarding these fraudulent prescriptions.
Okay.
アメリカの大手薬局で信じがたい事件が発覚しました。地域から信頼され、店舗からも任されていた一人の薬剤師、処方業務を担当していたその人物が、裏では自分自身や家族のために処方箋を作成し、医師からの電話指示によるものと記録していたのです。しかし、確認を受けた医師たちは明確に否定しました。そのような処方は出していない。これは不正だ。さらに問題なのは、それらの処方箋が保険会社に請求され、すでに支払いが行われていた可能性があるという点です。これは単なる手続き上のミスだったのか、それとも計画的な保険金詐欺だったのか、事件の真相とは何なのか、そしてこの薬剤師に下された処分とは、最後までご覧ください。2025年9月、CVS の店舗マネージャーが店内で勤務する薬剤師による不正行為の疑いについて調査と解明を求め、警察に通報しました。
Hi.
Hello.
I'm the pharmacist. I was not going to ask if I could come and meet you at your office.
Okay.
Yeah. And he called me, but I would prefer to come to the office and meet you.
Okay. Well, I got called, started all here.
I called for you, and she's trying to jump onto my call.
Okay.
She's the person we're calling about. We can contact you privately if you're okay with that.
Okay.
I work for CVS Pharmacy out of our corporate office in asset protection.
Deputy Diggrace.
Nice to meet you. This is our pharmacy district manager.
How you doing?
And this is our pharmacist here, Chandra.
Hello. What's the name?
Chandra.
Okay.
Long story short, I work in asset protection, as I mentioned. I've been assigned to work an investigation in this pharmacy regarding fraudulent prescriptions that this pharmacist has wrote for herself and for her spouse and for her sister, where she's documented on our forms that a doctor called in prescriptions. I spoke to the doctor, 2 of them specifically, that stated, I've not called in these scripts, these are fraudulent. She also billed them to a third-party insurance company, which is insurance fraud. We attempted to have a conversation with her, and it was futile. It went nowhere. So at this point, Board of Pharmacy requires that we notify the local law enforcement and file a police report regarding these fraudulent prescriptions.
Okay.
今回の問題は単なる社内規則違反ではありません。アメリカでは原則として処方箋を発行できるのは医師のみとされています。薬剤師はその正当な処方に基づいて調剤を行う立場にあります。もし医師の指示がないにもかかわらず、電話で処方があったと記録し、さらに保険会社へ請求を言っていたとすれば、それは医療記録の虚偽記載、職務上の権限の乱用、そして保険詐欺に該当する可能性があります。特に保険詐欺はアメリカでは重大な犯罪とされ、州によっては高額な罰金や実刑判決が課されることもあります。医療制度や保険制度への不正行為は極めて厳しく処罰されるのです。もし今回の疑惑が事実であれば、これは単なる個人の倫理問題では済みません。医療制度そのものへの信頼を揺るがす行為だからです。信頼によって成り立つ医療の現場で、その根幹が崩れたとき、社会に与える影響は決して小さくないのです。
Let me get you to fill out this statement form. It's your information at the top, and then briefly what happened. I'll get another statement form for you if you'd like to fill out one. Would you like to fill one out?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll put one here. This is your information at the top, date of birth here, and then briefly what happened. Did you want to fill one out also? Or? Okay. And I have continuation forms if anybody needs more than that space.
Great. Thank you.
Got it.
give me 1 second to make a quick phone call, and I'll be right back in.
Of my statement.
Sure.
Well, for the record, she can't go into the pharmacy because she's been suspended for being involved in criminal acts, and there's no other place to make a copy
I'm
of that.
taking a copy here.
Okay.
All right. I have a detective coming in to just ask a few questions before we wrap this up. Do we have a list of the medications?
What I'd like to do, if you're okay with it, is I can go make copies of these. But these are the first list that we put together. There are more, but this is the first list.
Okay. But you still have to make copies of this?
I
Or
can run to the pharmacy and
Okay.
I have a copy machine there.
okay, yeah. The detective will want to know
Okay.
what they're talking about.
I'll do that right now.
Perfect. All right. So the detective got called away on another thing. So just tell me briefly what happened.
The gentleman came in. He had done a thorough investigation. This says that I wrote fraudulent prescriptions. I tried to explain to him that I wrote prescriptions, maintenance, refills, that I felt that my doctor would have said, yes, go ahead and fill, like for high blood pressure, diabetes, and so on, without necessarily calling and saying, getting that verbal authorization. But it's things that always are being used. There are times that she did send it in electronically, and based on the fact that we have that relationship and she's a doctor we have been established with since 10 years, I felt, I need this and I know she will approve it. I just went ahead and did it.
Okay.
So I guess, well, not I guess, from what's been said and whatever, I should not have done that. And so this is the situation. It's deemed fraudulent. I said I acknowledge that, but I try to give my point of view that it was stuff, high blood pressure, diabetes, those type of things that we always use. And he's saying, well, I should do better because I'm not supposed to do that without them saying yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what kind of time period are we looking at?
I guess for a while, because he's questioning every prescription whether I cannot say which one are the ones they actually electronically faxed in or sent in, and which ones I actually wrote.
But for a little while, couple months, couple years?
Well, he did ask me how long I was here, and I said 4 years. I don't know if he's looking at 4 years or...
Okay.
Yeah.
You have anything else you want to add to the report that he didn't put down on here?
No, you said to write what happens.
Yeah.
They came in, he presented these things. He said, if I would like to ask for help, and I said, yeah, sure, I would like to ask for help. What does that involve? He said to say what it is, why I did it. And I said, well, I did it because I felt that I've been established with this doctor for 10 years, and if I need a refill on these medications, she would approve it. But he insisted that, I should have gone through the process, and yes, I agree. Yes.
Okay.
感情の側面から見れば、彼女は決して私利私欲のために動いたわけではありません。高血圧や糖尿病、中断すれば命に関わる慢性疾患の薬、そして10年にわたって築いてきた医師との信頼関係。彼女の中では答えはすでに決まっていました。先生ならきっと承認してくれる。だったら先に処理しても問題ないはずだ。と、しかしアメリカの法制度はきっと承認するだろうという推測では動きません。アメリカでは薬剤師が医師の正式な指示なしに新たな処方を作成することは原則として認められていません。たとえ長年継続している医事薬であっても必ず正式な確認、 書面、電子記録、あるいは適切に記録された口頭承認が必要です。
The detective got called away on something else. I'm going to start this report, and it's going to go to the detectives, and they're going to be doing follow-ups and establishing it from there.
All good.
All right. Do you have anything you need to add for me, or?
No, I think you've got everything. Of course,
Okay.
you've got my contact information if
Yep.
the detective wants to reach out. I expect we're going to have more information coming in very soon. This is the first that we found, and there were more that we're waiting on responses from that are the same kind of material.
Okay. And these are all
Fraud.
without authorization?
The doctors in every one of these examples that you have copies of there have given us a written response that these are not prescriptions that they authorized.
Okay.
They should not have been created, and their names as the prescriber being attached to them was against their will and without their knowledge.
Okay. And did you happen to count how many there are?
There's 11.
11?
11 in that
Okay.
batch right there. And each of those was also billed to an insurance company. And again, we'll provide all this whenever y'all want, but they were all billed to an insurance company. And the contracts with every insurance company, Aetna, Blue Cross, State Farm, everybody, if you file a fraudulent script, they're not obligated and they pay for them, so that's insurance fraud.
Yep.
So we're going to have to unbill every one of these once we get the final number.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to get this started. You both have my business card. You can call that number if you have anything to add, either of you. Either way, I'm going to get this report finished today, and it'll be forwarded to the detectives, and they should be contacting both of you shortly.
Perfect.
Okay.
Appreciate your help.
All right.
この時点で警察官は署へ戻ることになった。事件は現在も係争中です。彼女は現在保釈中で、保釈金の総額は約8万5000ドルと見られています。彼女は85の重罪で起訴され、1件あたり1000ドル。この動画は2025年9月に撮影されたもので、CVS の主張を捜査した刑事の捜査後、彼女は10月に逮捕されました。これらの動画に映っている容疑者は、法廷で有罪が証明されるまでは、常に無罪とみなされるべきです。